Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to create a simple rule in Netpicker. So basically, we have two types of creating rules in Netpicker. The one we want to talk about in this video is called the simple rule, meaning there is no coding required and the workflow is pretty straightforward. For the Python rule, which is the second method, you need to have some understanding of the Python language and also specifically the PyTest framework. So if you want to create a simple rule, you go to policies, and policies are just collections of rules. So CIS, CVE, these are policies, also test policy. And inside each one, we have a bunch of rules. So access rules, banner rules, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do here is create a policy first. I'm going to call this test policy 2. You can give it a description, but I can create it. The policy is created. Now I'm able to add a rule, and I am going to call this test, and it will attach a rule, I believe, after the name with a underscore. So test underscore rule will be the name of my rule. Platform is going to be Cisco iOS, and type will be simple rule. So this one can be medium, low, or high. I'm going to choose low. Doesn't really matter. Save. Now, there we go. So I have selected a device 0.105, which is a Cisco iOS router. And we have three types regarding simple rules. And here we have config backup, command backup, and real-time command. It is very important to understand the difference between each one of these, and I'm going to explain. So if you run a test against config backup, that is going to run against the config backup that you already have in Netpicker. What do I mean by that? So if I go to backups, click on this one, 105, you see that if I click on one of these, doesn't really matter, maybe this one, config backup is here, and that is because I have already got a backup from this device. If I don't have any backup, then there is nothing showing here, and as a result, if I choose that option, nothing would return. Since I have already backed up something, I have this entry or database here, so I can just run the test against this one, which is going to be obviously faster than connecting to device and run commands in real time. The second option is command backup, which is going to run the test against the output of these commands. So these commands can be found in your policies and rules, whatever you have here, policies and rules. So inside each one of these rules, you probably have a bunch of commands, and those would appear in the command backup section of your backups. So I'm going to go back to policies, test policy 2, click, and that was the second option, right? Command backup. And the last option is real-time command. And basically, as the name suggests, you run the test in real time, meaning you put in a command, a specific command, and you say it must include the text, whatever here, maybe password or maybe show run, must include the text secret to make sure we are MD5 compliant. But since I don't have any connectivity with this device, so I cannot really connect to this router at this point, I cannot do real time, but just know that it's an option. What I can do is, since I already have backups, I can run something against config backup, and I am going to check for secret and run debug. It is going to run, and it should be pretty quick. So there we go, not compliant. And that's because we have the word password instead of secret. So I'm going to debug again. And it is now compliant based on what we put here, but this is not security best practice. So there is one more thing I want to show you, and I'm going to close these. I go to devices, schedule, and in here we can add a schedule and run all the policies available against our device. So I'm going to call this run policy again. And task would be run all policies. We can also make backups, schedule a backup job. But right now, I want to schedule a policy job. So I'm going to run all policies. And I can say number of times per day, maybe once a day. And add the schedule. So add it. And it is here. And the moment the policy runs or the job runs, what happens is that we're going to get some results in the results section. And also we can get a report or generate a report from that result. So I'm not going to wait on that. But just know that it's an option. You can schedule backup jobs and policy jobs and automate these tasks. So this wraps up this particular video. I will see you in the next one.